Welcome to War of the Stars, a Star Wars podcast, broadcasting from deep within the Outer Rim, far beyond the watchful eyes of the Empire and on the fringes with the New Republic. Join your hosts Garrett K. Jones, Brian Karasik, and John Mark Tolley as they discuss the various facets of the saga's lore and characters, review the films, and discuss every tidbit of news coming out of Lucasfilm. Remember, this isn't just your Star Wars, this isn't just my Star Wars. This is our Star Wars. This is the way.
Or is that the way? I was confused about that.
I mean, where were they going if they didn't even know the way? Anyone can see the road that they were walking was paved in gold. It's always summer; it never gets cold. God, I miss Fastball. That was a good song.
I was about to say, is it never a good time? Is it never a wrong time for a Fastball reference? Welcome everyone to War.
Reference.
I know. That's why I did the Captain America. I understand that reference. Welcome to War of the Stars. I'm your host, Mark Tolley. Joining me, as always, is my co-host, Garrett K. Jones. We are sans Brian Karasik today.
Yeah, he apparently his house turned into the volcanic world of Mustafar because he had no way of cooling it down. Poor guy.
Yeah. Poor guy. I know. Trust me. I feel his pain. I've been there before.
I have too. Last summer.
No fun. Not fun.
Mm-mm. Dude. No,
but we will soldier on without him.
Yes.
And Garrett, who should I say are we talking about today?
Well, we're doing another character crave. We are jumping in and talking about Omega.
Omega. Yes.
Yeah. That little Kiwi lass that just made the Bad Batch so much more caring.
Batchier,
I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, we'll get into her here. So, I mean, how do you think we should start this? Talking about
my first thought on this whole thing was when Omega was introduced in Bad Batch, it was kind of a weird thing. Like, it felt very much like she was a one of those like kid inserts for a cartoon that should have been a little bit more mature.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we got the Clone Wars, and like our first kid insert obviously was
Ahsoka.
And then we get Rebels, and our kid insert is Ezra Bridger. And then we get the Bad Batch, and we get Omega. And just like those other two, Omega was one of those characters for me that, like, I didn't care for it at first. Mm-hmm. It felt like a random kid tag-along sidekick type thing, just like the other two characters. But then the character kind of grew on me. And I seemingly found myself caring about her.
Yeah, I'll be honest. When she first came in, like that first, I'd say, couple 3 episodes, I thought she was, and my mind's gone blank with what it's called in storytelling. It's a plot device that's used to move the story along.
The Ex Machina?
No, not Ex Machina. It's like something that they either have to protect or go after.
The MacGuffin.
I thought she was a MacGuffin. I thought that's what she's going to be there for. Was just she's the team's MacGuffin.
I can kind of see
I
that.
also wonder, and you kind of pointed this out. I wonder if they were expecting her to be the Ahsoka of Rebels, and to kind of get that level of, the fans will, eventually learn to love her, and which I think they did learn to like her, but I don't know if it was to the effect that they do Ahsoka now.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just because, we had, 7 seasons of Ahsoka, and we had, 3 seasons of Bad Batch?
3 or 4.
I believe it was 3.
Off the top of my head. Yeah, it was one of those weird things where she was an interesting character for sure, because like you knew there was something important about her, because I mean, how many female clones do we ever see? None. Up until this point. And like and that kind of brings me into something with regards to the Kaminoans in general, because like Kamino, like, you know, they're expert cloners. You can see just how well they have pure genetic code that they are working with. Because I mean, you take something from like a sample of Jango Fett, and they're making how many millions of clones based on that one genetic template, without having to continuously harvest, you know, cellular DNA from him. And yet, at no point did anybody think, oh, okay, well, they're building all these clones. They're building all these clones. Great. At no point did anybody even consider what happens if they start tweaking it. I mean, obviously, we got like the character 99, who, you know, he was a defective clone because he didn't turn out right, and he aged a little bit faster than he was supposed to, and he was a little bit broken. But and then we get the Bad Batch themselves, who all have some kind of defect within their programming. But
that's one thing that never made sense to me, and I don't remember if they explained that in the last season of Clone Wars, that episode Bad Batch, or in the series Bad Batch. But if these defects gave them certain abilities that made them, you know, better than what they were, why didn't they do that for like all the clones? Why didn't they be like, hey, this defect makes this one a good sniper. Let's make a whole army of nothing but crosshairs. A whole division of nothing but crosshairs. We have, you know, this guy, you know, this defect makes him to be able to track things and have expanded leadership skills. Let's make an entire division of them. Why didn't they do?
Yeah, because I think it's interesting because like those genetic traits developed separately. They didn't happen all on the same gene. You know, it was random. Like, I mean, Wrecker got, you know, enhanced strength and durability, and in a way that most clones don't. And so, like, the idea that, like, transferring those kinds of genetic changes, I think because of how random they were, they couldn't codify for it. They couldn't account for what kind of variation it would create in other clones. So I think it was probably best that they avoid it.
Yeah. I can tell you the like, I'd say the moment that I really started to really look at Omega differently and her relationship with the Batch, it was the end, I believe it was the end of the first season, where she's talking with Crosshair. They're on Kamino and she's talking with Crosshair, and I believe Crosshair asked something about why she rescued him, why she saved him, and he says that, you know, it's because you're my brother. And to me, that was one of the a big turning point for me in how I viewed Omega and her. Like, I was starting to, but I think that kind of, you know, is her personality and how she viewed these guys. You know, they were her family, they were her brothers, and Crosshair was just as much a part of that as Tracker or Wrecker or Echo. And
well, I think what was interesting with her is that, like, when she first meets the Bad Batch, like, it comes about that she, you know, one of her first big interactions was right here, as it talks about, where she is in the cafeteria with them, and she chooses to sit down with them.
Yeah.
And Tech, it was, you know, he's like, whoa, hold on, that's different.
Yeah.
You can see that there's a she wants to be a part of this. She wants to be part of that group, part of the family, because she's in isolation. She's the one variable that nobody accounted for, because we don't know if she was deliberately cloned this way or if she herself is aberration like the rest of the Bad Batch, because
Yeah.
again,
Well,
she's the only female clone in this facility.
Even if she's not an aberration, even if she was purposely cloned like that, for I think it makes sense for her to gravitate to the Bad Batch, because she sees all the other clones that are exactly alike, and then suddenly she sees this group of clones that look different, don't look like the other clones, and that would probably be like, oh, they're different like me. So I can see that drawing of her to. And one thing I appreciate they did is that they didn't make her like right away have like superpowers and saving the day and saving the Bad Batch constantly every week. Like you could see her training. I like the fact that you saw her training. You saw the Batch training her throughout, from season to season. And each season she got progressively a little bit better. That wasn't just on the first time she's doing backflips and, taking down Imperial stormtroopers single-handedly. And I like the fact that, when you first come out, first see her, she's still learning and she's still kind of,
Yeah, there's something very fresh, very green about her. And I like that because, you get the sense that there's something special about her.
Yes.
And it's not until we get to season 3 when she's on in that science prison.
Yeah.
And she's being held hostage and they're testing the blood of all these kids.
Yeah.
And you come to find out they're testing for the potential for force ability.
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting because aside from Vizsla, the one Mandalorian that was an actual Jedi, there's nobody else of Mandalorian blood or descent that had that connection to the Force. Yeah. And so she's kind of a rarity, and the fact that she has that is kind of a cool thing. But at the same time, it's underdeveloped. For her, it's more of just like an intuition, where she is able to sense something, or she can pick up on things, and that's what makes her unique within the Batch, because it's like everyone else, their abilities is completely physical.
Yeah.
Like Tech, his brain allows him to see things the way things are, and he understands things in a very technical way. Then you've got Echo. Echo's not, he's more cyborg than anything else.
He's more machine. He's more machine than man.
Yeah. But then you've got Wrecker, who is physically strong. You've got Hunter, who, he's got the heightened senses and that ability. And then you've got Crosshair, who, his eyes are modified in a way that allow him to be a really good sniper. And so for her to have this subtle thing that it's completely, there's no way of showing it off at this point. I think that was a really cool thing. And the fact that at some point, later on, she becomes somehow she and Asajj Ventress become fond of one another. Yeah. It's kind of a cool thing, because it would have been neat to see Asajj Ventress maybe take up that ability to teach her a little bit.
Yeah, I would have really enjoyed that. And we kind of hinted at her relationship with the Batch, and to me that was kind of the crux of the entire series, was her relationship with the Batch, and how each one was slightly different. And I loved her relationship with Wrecker. It was like big brother, little sister. You could tell that they're constantly getting in trouble together, and that's why it was that one episode where his chip restarts, and he goes after her was such a hard one, and so heartbreaking, because by that point she'd really gone, Wrecker was, you almost could say Wrecker was her favorite. She had a special connection with Wrecker, though I think she had a special connection with all of them.
Yeah, each one. I think the one that she had the least connection with was probably Echo.
Yeah,
only because he kept coming and going so frequently.
I think so. Yeah, he didn't.
But she did have a unique relationship. Like for example, with Tech, she helped bring out his more emotive side, and because he was a character that just operated fully on logic. With Wrecker, she brought out the softer, protective side.
Yeah.
With Crosshair, she helped him feel more human. She brought his redemption back to the team. And then
Go
for it.
Oh, and I was going to say, Hunter, I almost saw that as that was probably the closest thing. Hunter was probably the closest thing she had to a father.
Yes.
Like Hunter was definitely the father figure of that. You got the sense that with Wrecker, it could be anywhere from, the older brother, little sister, maybe even an uncle. Same thing with Tech. He definitely had that, uncle. I think Crosshair learned to care about her, but it took a while. But initially, that initial group of the Bad Batch, they all cared very deeply for her, and vice versa. I think she cared, and I think she helped bring out the idea that Crosshair could be saved and he could be redeemed, and not to give up on him, because he was their brother just as much as anyone else.
Yeah, I also, one of the things I liked is when it was just Tech, Wrecker, and Hunter working with her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I like that 3 men and a little lady vibe going on. It was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Hunter definitely was the Tom Selleck of the group.
Oh, I kept thinking that what I thought, I didn't see Tom Selleck. Yeah, I definitely see that. A couple times I saw Charlie Sheen from Hot Shots Part 2. When he had the bandana on, when he's got the face paint, and he's got the bandana, I'm like, that is Charlie Sheen from Hot Shots Part 2. I'm just waiting for the chicken arrow.
Nice.
Yeah, it's just, well, what else can we?
Well, I mean, what was probably the low point for the character in the series that you think?
Are you talking like a period where it was like, I didn't really like this. It's like, no, that wasn't really a good arc
and
for her.
We're not talking about in the beginning of the series when she's first introduced, because that's really not fair to the character.
Yeah,
it's like once we get an established version of the character, where do you think was the low point?
Honestly, it's been a while since I've watched Bad Batch.
Same.
I don't know. I mean, maybe I could go out and say, anytime you took her away from the batch, because I think part of that chemistry was part of what made that show special. Made that show was her chemistry with those people, with those characters.
Yes,
but then again, I mean, season 3 was great because you saw that the love they had for her, where they're willing to do whatever it takes to go rescue her, at the expense of their own lives.
I think the way that she was trained, and the way that she was, especially by the batch, and the way I like how that came into play in the final season when she was trying to figure out a way of escaping from the facility, because that was really good. It wasn't one of those situations where she'd had no training, she had no experience, she didn't know what she was doing, and yet she perfectly executed this multi-step escape plan.
Yeah, no, it made perfect sense that she would know, and the fact that she used her, not just her innate, force abilities that she, may or may not have known about, but that she used her size and the fact that she was small to get into tight places, that she knew like, okay, I'm small, I can get into this tight place. I can do these things that, she used not only her ability, but, her physical.
She used the assets that she had available to her, and she made it work. And I think
in a believable way.
Yeah. And I think that was great. I think that's the kind of writing that we needed more of, especially with characters like Ray, who everything just happened perfectly. Because if you go back to that sequence where Omega is trying to escape, like, even though she has thought it through, she's using the assets that she has available to her, it still hinges on the sheer luck of whether or not the Bad Batch is going to show up and help. And it hinges on troopers not discovering what she was doing. And it happened. People figured out what she was doing. They were trying to stop her. And and she had to adapt and she had to overcome. And that, I think, was probably one of the best parts of that, because she wasn't, it wasn't a perfect, flawlessly executed plan.
Yeah. Well, I love the fact throughout the series that she has to adapt and learn very quickly, to deal with things like she has to deal with death very quickly, and of losing a team, and I mean, second season, losing Tech. She had to learn. I am personally so glad they did not bring him back.
I am too.
Because I think that would have undermined that sacrifice, because she had to learn because that was her lesson about sacrifice. She had to learn that, sometimes that you have to be willing to lay down your life for the betterment of the team and for the betterment of your brothers.
Yeah.
To protect them. And that's what Tech did. And I think each one of them taught her, like you said, they taught her a lesson. I think that was one of the ones that, she taught them lessons, but they taught her lessons too.
Yeah, she helped them be more human, and they helped her be a better soldier.
Yeah. Yep.
So I guess my next question would be, would you like to see Omega show up in another project within canon? I
would. I don't know if I want to see it live action though, because I don't know who they would cast. I think Omega is one of those characters that, at least for the time being, I want to kind of remain as animated. I just think that her character kind of fits that vibe. I could be wrong. They could say tomorrow that we've cast this actress, and I could look at her and be like, oh, that is the perfect actress too. But it's such a small pool to because you have to have someone who's New Zealand, or at least can do a good New Zealand accent.
And you need to have someone who at least who at least looks like they might be, Pacific Islander at the very least, because you've got these characters who are based in Maori.
Was her voice actor Maori, or was she just New Zealander?
She had a Kiwi accent, man.
Well, but that doesn't mean that she's Maori. She could just be a New Zealander.
Let me pull up the information, because the actress who played her,
because there is a difference between a Maori and a European New Zealander.
Right. Who voiced Omega in Bad Batch? Michelle Ang. So she's Asian.
Okay.
Of Asian descent, but she's from New Zealand.
Right.
Because because if you look at Boba Fett, he was Jango Fett. He was played by Tamara Morrison, who's also a New Zealander.
Yeah. But again, even it's still a small pool of New Zealand is not the biggest country in the world.
Yeah.
I don't think their largest city has a million people.
Actually, Yeah, I'm looking at a picture here of Michelle Ang who voiced Omega.
Yeah,
And like, you give her the right hair color and you bleach it blonde, man, she could play an adult.
I can see it.
Yeah,
I can see it.
I think she would make for a great adult version of the character.
Yeah,
So,
I definitely could see it. What do you think she's a character that could hold her own show, whether it be animated or?
I honestly, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think she would make for a great co-star for another character.
Yeah.
But I just don't see much. Like, it's hard to say. Like, if they were to pick up a show that follows her, directly after the events of the end of Bad Batch season 3, where she's gone off and she's doing stuff with Asajj Ventress or with the Rebellion, that would be kind of cool. That would be really kind of neat. But at the same time, to what end? Like, it feels like one of those things that would be completely unnecessary. Like, I would much rather see her as a side character. That way we could have the continuation of the continuity between one piece of media and another. But that's just me.
Yeah. I totally agree. I could even see her being in, like, like they did with some characters in Mandalorian, where they, this person shows up, and I could see her, having, showing up in something like that, where she shows up for an episode, we see her, and then, later on down the road, maybe we see her again, but not necessarily for, like you said, not anchoring her own show or being like a permanent part of.
It would be. She would make for a better guest appearance.
I agree. Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. Guest appearance. Yeah.
So, this is a character that I think was really well written. I think she she served the purpose that she was supposed to serve, and I think they did well with her. This is one of those characters with that in the Disney era of Star Wars. This is a character that I feel like they did their homework, and they read the assignment, and they knew what they were supposed to do with the character, and they did it well.
Yeah.
She didn't girl boss. She wasn't a Mary Sue in any way, shape, or form. And by the end of the series, fans cared about her.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm sure there were some that didn't. I'm sure there were some that, but I mean, there are people that are going to complain about everything. So what can you do?
And again, we've said it before, and we'll probably say it again sometime later in the future. The people who tend to hate Star Wars the most are Star Wars fans.
True story. Yeah.
So I think that about covers it. This is probably one of our shorter episodes.
Yeah. It's. I mean, that's fine. Not all of them can be hour-long monologues of.
Yes.
So yeah. Do we have anything else to plug coming up, or?
Not that I can think of. I know that. I mean, that's pretty much it. I know that next week. Well, should we just talk about what we're going to be discussing next week?
We can.
Okay, yeah. So next week, this is one of our grab bag episodes. This is one that popped into my head a couple of weeks ago when we were planning. It's that one character you just want to punch in the face. Doesn't matter who that character is. Who's that one Star Wars character that just
makes me wonder if one character going to show up.
Oh, wow. Wow. And yes, the answer is yes. We will be having.
Does it have to be one character?
No, it doesn't have to be one character.
Okay.
But there should be at least one. I'm looking at you, Hondo Anaka. and Hondo and
What?
Nika.
I love me some Hondo.
Yes, I know. A man so popular, he showed up on our March Madness posting twice. We didn't even realize it. I still maintain it would have been hilarious if if Hondo versus Hondo was our final.
That would have been hilarious. Oh, there needs to be a meme that just, something like that happens where it's just like, that's so Hondo.
Oh man. Yeah, it's this next week is going to be a fun episode because
next week
it's just going to be us
just
ranting about characters we don't like. And then that Grogu, I just want to punch him like a soccer ball.
Oh, wow.
I don't want to get hated on by, like a.
Were
like
you one of the stormtroopers?
You're right. Last I checked,
were you one of the scout troopers?
I'm not Ted Lasso. All right. Well, as we're wrapping up, we've got that delightful freeze frame of Mark as he's just sitting there smiling. It's a great picture.
Sorry, you froze up on me for a second.
You froze up on me. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out in the recording.
It just be us.
All right. If you guys want to connect with Brian, even though he's not here tonight, you can find him over on the Sith Library and Archives on Facebook. They have a wonderfully curated collection of Sith and dark side lore, some memes, jokes, you name it, they've got it. They have some really great posts, and he posts on there as Darth Corrosis. You can connect with him on Instagram at Corrosis, and that is the best way to get a hold of our local Darksider. As for me, if you want to connect with me, you can do so on Instagram and X at GKJ_publishing, where I talk about the books that I write. Just the other week, I had my anthology of short stories called Midnight Playground. It just became an audiobook. So if you're on Audible, if you're on iTunes, it's available there. Then you can also connect with me on my YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and search for GKJ Publishing. You'll come across a show called The Right Way, where we talk book recommendations, author interviews, and creative writing tips. And then this coming Friday, 2 days from the day that this airs, I have a new episode of Snackame with my co-host Janae from Feast of Fandoms. And we're going to be talking about The Way of the House Husband on Netflix. So check us out.
All right. As for us right here at War of the Stars, if you want to get in contact with us, a couple ways you can do that. First way, you can email us. That is warofthestars1@gmail.com. Or we are on Instagram, X, YouTube, all the other social medias at War of the Stars 77. We are also now officially on Blue Sky, which is a new social media app. I have not updated that handle yet, but just search War of the Stars. You'll find us there. Once I remember what that handle is, you can contact us there too. So yet another way you can get a hold of us. We are, of course, as Garrett mentioned, a proud member of the Feast of Fandoms. Check out all the shows of Feast of Fandoms, including Snackame, Geek Gauntlet, MCU Mondays, Captain's Logs and Lightsabers, the Cantina Happy Hour, just to name a few. We will show up randomly on a few of them. So all great shows. So check those out. If you want to support the show, Ko-fi.com/War of the Stars, or check out our merch shop at spreadshirt.com/shop/war-of-the-stars. Check that out. Also, next, let me look at my calendar here. Yes, next Saturday, I will be appearing on What Does Star Wars Mean to You, where I will be talking about my Star Wars journey and what the franchise means to me. Check that out. It's a great show. If you've not listened to it, very cool concept, very cool. I'm super excited to be on the show. Next week I'll be recording. I'm not sure when the show will be put out. But get ready to check that out coming soon. That's about it. So until next time, remember, this is not just my Star Wars. This is not just your Star Wars. This is our Star Wars. Until next time, may the Force be with you.